This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
That's as pleasant as I've ever heard her sound.
Yeah, it's a lot less shocking early in the morning than the hard rock. Yeah.
Listen, damn it. Okay, settle down, Amy. Calm down, sister. You know, there is one person right there, Amy Daniels. She's head of programming, isn't she? I mean, Dan is her boss, but isn't she the head of programming for Hubbard?
Yes, she does a lot of work that I can't even comprehend. There's always a meeting that she has to be a part of, and I never am able to. I feel like I'm bothering her every time I have to ask her a question.
She does enough where I'm shocked that she's the one that does the voiceover stuff.
Oh, I know. Well, she's got a massive ego. I mean, that must be what it is. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, she has the voice for it, but it's like, Amy, I thought you had more important things to do. But yeah, she seems like all she does is work.
She has the indicator. I was taught this by the Italians in my neighborhood, the indicator voice. You talk to Amy down, she's like, hey, how's everything going? I want to give you a quick call because I got some great stuff coming up. And, okay, well, I'll talk to you later. And then the other one is, yeah, we got to talk about some things. Like, oh, okay, well, there's the indicator what kind of mood you're in, sister. I just love that stuff. Whereas I am been told, because of the raspiness in my voice and the fact that I always look like I'm pissed off, that everybody interprets what I'm saying as I'm pissed off, which I'm not. But they still do it to me. All right. We were talking about pizza because it is Friday, and I went for my walk this morning. Oh, by the way, I should mention that very, very quickly. We've had a lot of listeners ask, since I'm going on these walks, and what I want to do is lose 40 pounds, get down. I'd like to get down to about 215, 220, which I haven't been since I was in ninth grade, because I started lifting weights big time when I was in ninth grade, and then all through, I only went to high school for 1 year, so I guess that wasn't a long time, but they want me to do videos of all that stuff. Apparently, I did a video where I ate a Pop-Tart for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I had never had a Pop-Tart, and apparently tons of people love that thing.
Yeah, well, people love to get a look behind the curtain and see what your life is like. So, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, so Andy said, you know what? We should video all this stuff because they want to see it. They want to see it, why it works, how it works. I'm talking to a couple of different places about using their methods as far as eating is concerned. But the working out part, I got that all covered. I have not lifted weights now in probably 10, 15 years. I mean, a little. No, not 15 years, 10 years probably. Okay. So I'm going to probably get back to lifting weights, and I'm up to about 3.5 miles per hour now. I'd like to get up to 4 miles an hour walking, which is a brisk walk. There's no question about that. But I am actually quite honored. What's that?
How much horsepower is that? Sorry.
Horsepower? I don't know. Let me think about that. 4 miles an hour. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. We should figure. Why don't we do that today? We'll figure out the horsepower of walking 4 miles an hour.
A couple ponies under the hood, not a big deal.
A couple of, well, you've seen my legs. I can pull a lot of weight with my legs. Oh, yeah,
your calves are massive.
They're Easter hams. There's no doubt about it. But, yeah, so Andy's going to get all that stuff together. It should happen within the next probably few weeks, 2-3 weeks, something like that. But I love talking to you. I did not know until Andy told me, he said, a lot of people watch these things. And I'm like, oh, I did not know that. So, because, and one of the reasons I'm doing it, obviously, is because it'll help me, because I'm being held accountable to our listeners. It's going to drive me to do a much better job. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Kevin Hart years and years and years ago, he did something similar where he was kind of every morning he went on a walk or went on a run, and it ballooned into, because of who he was, everybody would come and meet with him wherever he was on tour,
right,
and walk with him. Or I know comedian Josh Wolf, he would get high and go walk around his neighborhood every week. But again, it was very popular. People would just tune in just to see, like, hey, what are you doing on your walks? Yeah, weirdly, people are into it. Maybe they're exercising vicariously through you.
Well, and I think if you see a guy in my situation, I'm 72. I want to go down, like I said, about 40 pounds, something like that. I was talking to Bernie about that. He went through that situation too, and but yeah, I just wanted to tell you, I'm gonna do what you asked me to do. I will start videoing, the eating thing and the working out and all that stuff. Not while I'm eating, but what I'm deciding to eat based on whatever program I end up on. But man, I tell you what, I feel much better just from getting out, walking that every morning. If I got the short walks, like 2 miles, the longer walk in the morning is about 3 miles, well, 3.5, I guess, something like that. But yeah, look, it's great for me. And thank you very much for showing interest, listeners, because it's very nice of you.
Do you still bike a lot in the summertime?
No,
No?
And that's the one thing I got to start doing again, because I love biking.
Because I would say that's what you should do is when you bike, put like a GoPro or something on your helmet and just like live stream.
Oh, now here we go. Now I'm locked in. Now I got no choice. I have to do it this summer. I tell you what, though, you go around those lakes in Minneapolis, the Calhouns, the Lake Harriet, the Lake of the Isles. What a beautiful bike ride that is.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, and there's because obviously the Betamaca Ska Old Lake Calhoun one is the main one, but there's one that's just to the south of it that's a little bit more private, and it's got a gorgeous walking trail around it. So yeah, that whole area over in Uptown Lake of the Isles area is great.
You know what I love about what you just did, because it pointed out something I brought up to somebody a couple of weeks ago. There are 5.5 million people in Minnesota, and there are 5.5 million different pronunciations of Betamaca Ska.
I know, and I always say the former Lake Calhoun after it because I feel like I probably offended somebody by my butchering of how to say it.
But everybody butchers it.
Yeah.
Bataclama? What is it? Bataclaga? No, it's not Bataclaga. Okay.
No. Yeah. See, I thought it was Betamacaska. Like you just roll it through.
Oh, okay. Betamacaska.
But that's the thing. Like nobody ever says it the same thing. They'll when they were announcing it on the news, like even the news anchors every night would have like a different pronunciation, either by accident or because they got it wrong and tried to switch it the next night. Just nobody's ever said it right.
What is it? Betamacaska means. What does that mean? I got laid by the park bench. What does it mean?
Well,
I've seen that happen in Lake. Have you ever seen that in Lake Calhoun? People having sex on a park bench?
Not having sex on a park bench, but I've seen people usually have no shame with drug use or day drinking out there. Yeah.
Oh, I get those guys. As a matter of fact, when I'm running every morning, you got at least one guy who's still hammered. There was a guy, he stood up to come over to talk to me, and he almost fell over on his face. So he decided after taking 2 steps, he didn't want to talk to me anymore. And he went and sat down. He's giving it this one. I got to talk to you. I was like, okay, great, perfect. Should go really well, as a matter of fact, sir. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, we'll talk about that. Friday is America's favorite night for pizza. We were talking about that. And then all of a sudden I looked down at the complete sheet, which is it's a Wise Brother Media news page. And their top story is Friday's America's favorite night for pizza. Here are the worst possible toppings. We'll get to those. We got to do a little sports action with Phil Mackey coming up in a couple seconds whenever he's ready. But I'll be interested to know, I don't even have a guess, because what they're going to talk about is what the worst toppings are for pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm a pepperoni guy. I'll eat other stuff, sausage and pepperoni. There very few pizzas I wouldn't eat, but there is something. Like, I'm not big on pineapple on a pizza.
No.
I can understand why some people would like it, but I just, tomato sauce on that whole deal. Pineapple and tomato sauce doesn't work for me.
Nope, absolutely not. No anchovies.
Nope.
Not an olive fan, but yeah, the pineapple, no.
Not an olive fan?
Nah.
Oh, give me green olive and sausage on a pizza. Oh,
I tell you what, I don't black olives, green olives. I'm a big olive guy. What is that? Because some people hate olives and other people love them. Very few people in the middle.
Yeah. It's one or the other. Yep, and a lot of people don't just like, they're fine.
Yeah.
It seems like it's true. So look at what we got done today. We've decided what kind of pizza to eat, where you should go bike riding, what kind of day we're going to have. We're going to start shooting a lot more video, running, lifting weights, doing all that, and eating more Pop-Tarts, because apparently now somebody said, no, Pop-Tart. You never had a Pop-Tart, and I watch you eat the Pop-Tart, but now you got to have what was it again? Andy knows, I don't know. What would it be, the next step from a Pop-Tart?
Probably a toaster strudel.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's very good because I couldn't think of it.
You got to go apple, I think, is the go-to.
Yes.
Toast.
Baked apple.
Yep.
Baked apple sounds good.
Little
So it's a
apple.
toaster strudel.
Yeah. You put them in the toaster so they're all warm and flaky. And
they get burnt if you leave them in like a second too long.
Do they really?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Are they as thin as Pop-Tarts?
They're a little thicker.
A little thicker. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. But the apple strudel, what are they called again? The what strudel?
Toaster strudel.
Toaster strudel. Okay, there you go. I got to think of the last time I used a toaster. Because, leaving for work every morning at like 4:30 in the morning, I haven't eaten toast other than at a restaurant in about 45 years. That's weird because I don't when am I going to eat toast? I suppose I could eat it at night. I do like toast.
Yeah, a little peanut butter toast for a snack or something.
Yeah.
Oh man, do not get my grandson Ethan anywhere near a jar of Skippy crunchy peanut butter. That boy could eat the whole damn jar, and he's only 2 years. He loves peanut butter, like crunchy peanut butter. Just loves it.
Oh, I'm gonna dig into a peanut butter like granola bar on our break here before we get into Mac because I am absolutely starving.
Oh, you're starving?
Oh yeah. I'm shocked you think I have enough time. I allocate enough time for myself before I leave the house to eat anything.
But I mean, you don't really do anything on your job. You sit there.
Hey, doing nothing looks like an appetite.
Pushing buttons burns more calories than you think.
It's harder than you think, Tom. I'm just telling you. So yeah, let me know when Phil's ready to go, and we'll get him on and get things done. He's going to be talking about Timberwolves in the wild, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm getting him in the room, but we'll be able to come if we go to a break. We'll be able to get back to him after that.
We could certainly do that. There's no question about it. We'll go take a break right now, and we'll have Phil Mackey with us right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the song Kokomo. It's supposed to be out Florida Keys, right? Well, I hate to break your Beach Boys bubble, but that's a fictitious place they made up for the song. Fortunately, for the rest of us, Florida Keys island chain are as real as the taxes you have to pay in Minnesota if you're a resident, and that's a reason to move south. As a matter of fact, I talked last night. Catherine and I are going to head down to Florida, the Florida Keys, in late February. I'm going to go have a little dinner with our buddies down there, Kristen and Matt, everybody. So I'm going to head down. I'm going to look around. I'll personally look around for the kind of houses you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give it my seal of approval. What do you think? So here's the deal. In addition to Florida and all of Monroe County being beautiful, the Keys from Key Largo to Key West are even more beautiful. And you know what? When we're down there, I will take a bunch of video down there, too, just to prove to you my favorite things about Key West, because I do love it. Tom Barnard here, part-time Florida resident myself. And if you want a second house or new retirement home or want to become a Floridian, something like that, contact Matt Carlson from One Key West Realty. Matt grew up in Litchfield. He's a super real estate agent when it comes to finding your tropical island space in the Keys. He lives there and here, which is always good news. Just, Matt knows what's best in the Keys to buy for your second home in Florida. Matt teamed up with fellow Minnesotan from Sartell, Minnesota, very close to where Tommy was born. Kristen Eklund's from there. So that's the deal. She's from Coast to Coast Mortgage. She'll get you the financing you need. Matt's part of the Lake Sotheby's International Realty Group here in Minnesota. And Kristen, his mortgage colleague, lives and works in the Keys. So they got both ends of this deal covered, which I think is great. So that's the deal. All you have to do is contact them by heading to onekeywest.com. That is onekeywest.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. So yes, to thank you, they're having an overstock clearance, a new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM. and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
There's that stinger, ladies and gentlemen, no question. Oh, Tevin, I want to ask you a favor because I just, look at this. Oh, can I show this? Maybe I can't show it on the air. No, I probably shouldn't. I just got a document from Steve Simon, who's the Secretary of State of Minnesota, and we had talked about booking him. If you and Andy would talk, because Steve Simon's a great guy. I'd love to have him on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really good guy. Look at this, my document. There, I turned it away.
Wow, that's an official document. There's a
border.
There's a border around it. Yeah,
a border, man.
You know it's official when there's a border around the document.
You know, one thing I do love about Minnesota politicians, because it's a personal thing, you got about, I don't know, probably 2/3 of the politicians just don't want to come anywhere near me, either because they don't like me or I'm too dangerous to be around. And then the other third is like, hey, let me come in and do your show. I love that show.
Well, this is a great time of year to, if you're a politician the next 9 months, to buddy up to podcasts and radio shows, right? Get your message. You guys are in luck, by the way, because I bring to you my Toaster Strudel power rankings to start this segment.
Okay, now I got to intro you first then. If you're going to be doing, because this is going to be important because I've never had one. We were talking about that Andy took a video of me eating a Pop-Tart because I had never had a Pop-Tart either.
Oh, you never had a Pop? I saw it on social media, yeah.
I saw never had a Pop-Tart.
You were looking at the Pop-Tart like it was some foreign object. You know, do I break it in half? It
is pretty foreign. I will tell you that. But now I got to step up because of, these two hun yucks here and my son Andy. Now we're going to do a video eating a Toaster Strudel. But so far, I got to introduce you first. SKOR North's Phil Mackey is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Talked to Josh last night. What a great guy. I like him.
He knows what he's doing, man. In terms of helping you with your finances. You know, I'm not like going into a spot here. I've known Josh also for like 12 or 15 years.
Right.
He's been a great partner of ours on different radio shows and podcasts, and he's the official title sponsor of Royce Unchained on SKOR North. So there, I guess I just did a spot too, right there.
Yeah, we got nothing but spots. We're just loaded up like there's no tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's how they bring in the do-re-mi, isn't it?
It is. Maybe Toaster Strudel can jump on board here after. It's a Pillsbury company.
If you need a spokesperson,
it's AJ here for Pillsbury Toaster Strudel division.
That'll be a nice touch. We get that going, no problem. Okay, so toaster. Okay, now, so should I try a different flavor Pop-Tart? Because I had the caramel one, I think. I don't know. I couldn't really tell what it was supposed to taste like. It was good, but it was just kind of, toasty.
Yeah, you're going to get more of a flavor blast. And listen, this is all due respect to Pop-Tarts, okay?
Sure,
I mean, Pop-Tarts are the GOAT, but I think you're going to get more of a flavor blast with the Toaster Strudel. And like AJ said, you don't want to leave it in the toaster too long because they've got kind of frayed croissant edges, and so they can catch on fire if you don't keep an eye on the toaster.
Right.
Just want to give you a heads up. But I've got three. I've got a power ranking of 3 Toaster Strudel flavors. Would you like me to start at 3 and work my way up to 1?
Yeah,
I would think so. And let me explain for people that may have just hopped on here that because I got up at 3:30 in the morning for 40 years. I've never had a Pop-Tart, and I've never had a Toaster Strudel. I cannot tell you how unusual it was 1 year ago when they fired me and I had breakfast before I went on the show. That was weird, man. That felt really, really weird.
It's wild.
I'm not as weird as working with assholes, but it was weird in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
And now you're like, the fact that you're getting to try toaster strudels and Pop-Tarts for the first time. Now it's like you're really living life now for the first time.
Real culinary experience.
It's true. And by the way, before we move on from Josh Arnold, I want to point out that I had dinner with his cousin and his mother. His mother is, well, I won't even say all. She's in her 90s. She looks younger than I do. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. She's kind of a tiny person. You ever notice tiny people look like they're about 14 until they're in 100?
Yeah, that about checks out. There's no in between. It's just
what is the when you refer to tiny people? Like I'm 5'7" 3/4. Like, am I on the
average.
Borderline there? Okay.
No, that 5'8" is very average.
Well, like 100 years ago, wasn't like George Mikan in the 1950s? Wasn't George Mikan was the tallest player in the NBA, right?
Yes. Yep.
George Mikan would be like a shooting guard in terms of size in today's.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
Point guard George Mikan coming out. He's posting up.
You talk about a guy that just dominated that sport, though. Holy God, was he good?
Yeah.
No doubt. Okay, so Toaster Strudel. We're going for 3, 2, 1.
All right. So
it? Okay.
yeah. So
Number 3.
Number 3. Oh wow, we get a drum roll. This is great. Okay, number 3, Apple.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
This might be controversial. I think a lot of people would put Apple number 1.
Yeah.
That Apple is like the OG sort of, most recognizable toaster strudel. And it's no disrespect. It's in the top 3. Apple's number 3.
You might have just lost the drum roll sound effect for
broken.
He blew you out, man.
Okay, number 2. The cinnamon roll toaster strudel.
Oh, I'd like that. Yeah.
Right, you just earned back for number 1.
That's good.
Okay, really good. So it's and again you get to control the frosting on top too. So if you're more of like a plain cinnamon roll person, you can just do the cinnamon roll filling. If you want the extra frosting on top, you get to control with the frosting packet.
Do you heat up the frosting with the pot? With the pop? Not a pot. It's not.
Well,
it
gets a little. Strudel. I would say this. All right, this is where if you have a traditional toaster, you really can't because you can't put the frost. It'll just it'll get your toast. But if you have a toaster oven, you could put the frosting on and then lay the strudel in flat, obviously. But you got to be careful because if the frosting kind of melts, it could drip down and drip between the grates.
Take the packet, dip it in some warm water.
Yes.
Warms up the frosting without melting the plastic.
Yeah, could do that too.
Oh, listen to that now. We got a couple of angles we're going at it. Yeah. Okay, I got to tell you, where we are right now, I love the sound of apple strudels. I love the sound of cinnamon strudels. So I don't know how you're going to top those two.
Well, what if, so the first 2 here, we've just had one flavor, right? It's apple, you've got cinnamon roll. But what if for the number 1 toaster strudel, if I said, let's put 2 flavors into one and call it the cream cheese and strawberry toaster strudel as the number 1 Pillsbury toaster strudel of all time?
I could do that.
Can't hate that list.
It's the strawberry flavoring on the edges of the inside with a coating of cream cheese right down the middle and then the frosting on top, Tom.
How many calories are we talking about in a toaster?
We don't need to talk about that.
No.
Actually.
Yes, we do. Because I promised I would start a program. I've gotten back into walking. I walked about 6 to 7 miles every day. I am getting back into weightlifting. I haven't lifted weights in about 10 years. And now you want me to eat apple strudel, cinnament.
It's moderation.
Strudel.
Yeah, we'll just say it's a good thing you're starting to work out again.
Exactly.
Think about the contents.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about moderation. You don't eat 6 of them in one sitting. Maybe you can just maybe split one with Andy or something.
Okay, let me ask you a question. This is very important because every morning when I go for a walk, it doesn't matter what city I'm in either. I could be in any city in America. When I go for my walk in the morning, I run across about 3, 4, sometimes 5 homeless people sleeping in the streets. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think if Andy went along with me, did a video of me handing out toaster strudels to homeless people?
I think you'd be a good Samaritan.
It'd be a good Samaritan. These people need some chow, but now is that sugar too far to go from eating nothing to eating tons of sugar?
I'll tell you what, I went the last time I was at, you ever go to like the deep dish pizza places in Chicago? You used to do a ton of work in Chicago, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yep.
That's actually another, I love your top 3 rankings there, but I went to Gino's East one time, and it was me and a couple buddies, and we all had like, it was a work trip, and I don't think my hotel room had a refrigerator, so it was like I had like 3 slices of massive, sausage deep dish pizza, and I wasn't gonna. And I don't know, a homeless man outside the restaurant was politely asking people if they had money or anything. I said, "Would you like some deep dish pizza?" And it is the most excited I have ever seen anyone, rightfully so, because he was hungry. So I think
it should be.
Well, yeah, if you've got extra strudels or deep dish pizza, go around and make someone's day.
You're just a really good person. Let me just point that out.
Such a good person.
You're such a good person. I wonder if they might get pissed at me, though, because I don't think I'd give them the number 1 rating because there's too much sugar in that one. So if we cut her back to maybe the cinnamon one, there'd be the least sugar in that. Because I don't want to give them like a sugar rush and they go to have a stroke or something.
Well,
I don't need that.
What about the blueberry one? The blueberry one was my honorable mention, by the way.
True.
Just want to shout out the blueberry toaster strudel.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a whirl because, like I said, it just that sounds wonderful. I'm gonna try one. So should I have one for dinner tonight before I have one for breakfast tomorrow?
Boy, I would say it's more of I would say if you want my power rankings for when you would eat a toaster strudel, I would say dessert is number 1. So eat your dinner, wait for it to settle a little bit, and then maybe just like get a little taste of a cinnamon toaster strudel before the end of the night. Maybe a little sip of bourbon and a toaster strudel. Maybe that's what we.
You don't want me sipping bourbon.
Okay.
Here's me sipping bourbon after 1 bourbon. God, I feel phenomenal, man. It's great. It's great to see everybody. Second one. Yeah, things are great. No problem. Third one. The hell are you looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want me drinking whiskey.
Well, you don't need to drink 3 bourbons and a toaster strudel. That's a
It's
wild
all or
night, by
nothing.
the way. That's a wild night. What did you do last night? I had 3 bourbons and 2 cinnamon toaster strudels.
That was a big night.
Crazy night did you get up?
Wake
It was
up,
a very
passed out on
big
the
night.
couch with frosting all over.
I just passed out.
All right, well, since we got to move on and we haven't mentioned any sports, we should talk about winners and losers from last night before you go.
Sure. Yeah, the Wild got smoked again, which is actually at this point a good thing. The Wild have won 2 games since December 27th. So there's a website called tankathon.com, which shows you how high you are in the draft order. Now it's a lottery, so the bigger percentage chance they can get at this point. Spurgeon's out. But the Timberwolves played with their food against Memphis's backups for like 3.5 quarters. And then Anthony Edwards decided on national TV in front of TNT, Charles Barkley, okay, I'm just going to score 26 points, throw a ball off the backboard to myself and dunk it. And so they win again. The Wolves have a pretty comfortable lead as the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. But here's your stat of the day. So we are at the halfway point of the season. It's an 82-game season, 41 games in. The Wolves have 30 wins in the first half of the season. In the previous 34 years of Timberwolves basketball, half of them, 17 seasons, in full seasons, they have not reached 30 wins.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
That's horrendous.
They've now been in first place for, I think it's 57 consecutive days.
Really?
Which is 45 more days than the entire previous 34 years history that they've been in first place in the Western Conference.
Is it Ben? Is he the difference?
Who?
The coach.
Oh, Chris Finch.
Chris Finch. Well, I was thinking of Ben.
You're
Johnson
thinking of the
for some
Gophers
reason.
who got beat last night.
That's right. They got beat last night. That's what I was thinking of Ben
Finch.
Johnson.
No, Finch is a good coach.
He looks like it. Yeah.
And what's great is, this is the best season in Timberwolves history, at least regular season at this point. But he, after every single game, is still like pissed off that they didn't play better, and he's right. So these guys come off the court. This is great, we won another game, and he's like, you turned the ball over 17 times, you disappeared for 2.5 quarters, and he's got that sort of disappointed dad demeanor in every post-game press conference, but it keeps him sharp.
It's funny that's how human beings are, because I remember way back in the day, when the Q was the highest rated morning show in America, and we finally broke 30. We had a 30 share.
Gosh.
And the general manager went, yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, is it? Is it pretty good?
But if you look at this subsection of demographics, you guys only had a 19.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, women 35 plus was only a 13 share here, Tom. So
yeah, you're lame, Tom. That's all we know. Phil, it's always a pleasure, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.
Sounds good, guys. All right, we'll see you Monday, and we'll see if Kirk Cousins stirs up any more news. We'll see.
Be in Atlanta, isn't he?
I don't have any problem with that. I'd like to say I do, but it's time for him to move on.
He's doing, real quick, I know we got to go. He's doing a very strategic media tour right now.
Oh, is he?
Where he is, let's just put it this way. If he was coming back to the Vikings 100%, if they had a deal in place, he's not going on a CBS Sports interview and saying, I wouldn't turn down a chance to play for Bill Belichick, future Hall of Fame coach. But, there's a lot of things up in the air right now. We'll have to see what happens.
But I got to agree with him. Who the hell wouldn't want to play for Bill Belichick?
Agree. Oh, I wouldn't fault him one bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question.
100%.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you guys.
Have a good day.
Have a good weekend.
Phil Mackey, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert will be with us at that time, ladies and gentlemen. Another superstar in podcasting, Chris Egert. Hey, it's a new year, and why not treat yourself to a new gun from K&L Surplus and Ammo. I personally know Jim, the owner, spent a lot of time with him, had a great time. He's been in the firearms business for over 15 years and knows how to set you up with the perfect firearm for your needs. K&L offers one of the widest selection of firearms in the region, including Beretta shotguns and Tikka rifles. High school trap teams are starting to form now, and K&L has a great selection of SKB shotguns. K&L has Tikka and SKB, both in right and left-hand models, as a matter of fact. K&L also has a broad range of ammunition, including both American and European calibers. If you have a collection of guns that you'd like to sell, call Jim at K&L so he can help you get the best price through his network. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life, Zero Res Carpet Care. Very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, zero resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forwarded, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy. Zero Res Carpet.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Boom. This is Chris Egert News. I'm going to give you your own intro. What do you think?
I love that you can do that with your voice. Man, I wish I had that kind of timbre.
I could do this too. Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
I had
This
an
is
Italian
kind of
friend
the way-
talk like this. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I tell you what, I was talking to your wife the other day, and she told me.
I love that accent. It's like, where'd you come up with that?
I like the new thing now with the voices on the voiceover stuff is like happy guy, light, kind of non, very approachable. Like, hey, I'm here to do. Hey, you can pick up 4 boxes of saltine crackers for 99 cents.
There you
Know what I
go.
mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but I should give you an update because I haven't talked about it in a few days that I'm running a personal contest. You remember, you guys are too young to remember, probably Find the Pope into the Pizza on Saturday Night Live when Father Guido.
I remember seeing it, yeah.
Okay, we have a deal here. Find the nice, intelligent white guy in a commercial. We got the same deal going on. When's the last time? There are still white guys in commercials, but they're always really stupid or a prick, one or the other. Not a lot of honky men in commercials anymore.
Yeah, that tracks because I am in a commercial for Channel 5.
Well, there you go. See, you ruin everything.
So you said what? Either a prick or what was the other thing?
Or stupid. No, I didn't say stupid.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
fine.
else. He goes, yeah, that's fine. No problem. Don't worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. So, Chris, any big news? Luckily, from what I learned from AJ and Tevin, we haven't had any massive beatings in Minnesota recently, so that's good.
Sports beatings or...
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I think the Wild did get a massive beating last night, didn't they?
Yeah, no, I before the show, I was like, yeah, there's massive beatings in downtown Minneapolis near the Target Center because the Wolves absolutely are attacking the rim. They let their win over. But yeah, the Wild wasn't in state. That was actually down in Florida taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they got their behinds smacked a couple times.
Massive
Indeed.
beating.
Isn't that sad when you're from Minnesota and you get beat by a team in Florida? In hockey? I mean, what?
I saw a really funny tweet this morning. Somebody had tweeted out, people over 30, what's your advice on being a good professional sports fan? And somebody responded, not be born here.
Hard to argue. It's hard to argue. I've been a Viking fan since I was about 15 years old, and they have not won a Super Bowl yet. So that's, no problem.
Listen, we always have next year, right? That's always have next year.
And the year after that.
And the year after that.
Let's see. In the news this morning, I don't know if you guys saw, there's some crazy video out of Miami from overnight of a cargo plane that caught fire and is kind of like, you look it up real quick. It's just kind of, it happened last night, but most of the news organizations are just kind of able to verify it this morning. And we were through ABC News, but it shows this Boeing 747 going across the sky and like trailing like fire and smoke. And it looks like parts are falling. It's the craziest thing, but it was able to land safely and nobody got hurt. There were 5 crew members on board, but it's pretty crazy. Like you look at that thing and you're like, holy crap, I can't believe that it landed safely.
That is pretty amazing because we just went through a situation where they didn't land safely about a month or two ago. And it's very, very easy for that thing to just take everybody out. Another
weird thing happened last night. Stay with me on this. There was a family night at Como Park Elementary. So the implication is that families were gathered there, and I'm assuming perhaps participating in a basketball game with kids if it's a family night. I don't know that for sure, but I do know that the person had an unholstered gun on him playing basketball and shot himself.
He shot himself.
Yeah, some punishments fit the crime, I think, with that one. If you're going to play basketball with a gun in your pocket and you shoot yourself, I don't feel bad for you.
There's a joke about like lockdown defense here somewhere.
Yeah, I actually have a permit to carry, but I hardly ever do. If I'm going to go certain places, I do. Like I said, the one example I can give is last year when I went to pick up a toy from a guy was selling it out of his house. He said, just leave the money in the mailbox, take the trike, and you're good to go. I was over on 37th in Chicago. And as I was going back, putting the trike in my car, guy walks up to me, goes, "Hey, what kind of gun is that in your pocket?" I said, "It's a 357 Magnum." And he goes, "That's what I thought," and just kept moving.
Well, Chris, you were a basketball player, weren't you? Or are a basketball player?
I was, yes.
Like, did you ever tie your shoes up and grab your gun and hit the court?
That's what I can't figure out. Like, maybe if it was, that's why I sort of in my head, I've reconstructed the crime scene or the scene of the incident. I guess I don't know if it probably was a crime because he had a firearm in a school,
right?
Which I think last time I checked is a crime.
That.
But so I'm assuming maybe if it was family night, it was like some dads and some kids, and maybe the dad had jeans on because it was like just a low key game. Because to me, that's really the only scenario where you might have an unholstered gun, and because you sure as hell couldn't put them in gym shorts, right?
No. Oh no, you're not like, you'd have to like tie your strings tight enough to hold it in place.
Even if it was one of those little, are those called derringers? Those tiny little. I don't even know that you could put that in mesh shorts. So, or unless he had it in his shoe or his sock too, which is I guess would be the other thing. But
gives a new definition to shooting guard. That's for certain.
There we.
He worked on that one for 10 minutes. For God's sake. He was working that one in from 10 minutes ago. I love
nice
it.
job, Tevin.
Yeah, way to go, Tevin.
Nailed the punchline, my man.
All right. What else you got, Pally?
Let's see what else. Everybody's sick from the flu, RSV, or cold. They're trying to make it more accessible for more people to sell cannabis. It sounds like so they'd be available to more retailers around the state. That's something that's in the works right now, although it still seems like it's quite a ways off from like being able to walk down the street and go to your friendly neighborhood dispensary. And then this one's a funny one before I go. A couple of guys in New York are suing Madonna.
For singing?
For singing too late.
Too late?
Yes.
Like when show up late to a concert or something?
It was at Madison Square Garden, and they're suing because they got home far too late and had to get up far too early because the show was supposed to start at 8:30 and Madonna did not take the stage until 11.
Oh, that deal.
I side with them.
They might have a case here.
Lauryn Hill is notorious for doing the same thing where it'll be, I'm going to be on at 7, and then it's midnight, and where is she? Is she even in the state? We don't know. So yeah, people need to get their act together. As far
apparently she's got a track record of it, which then to me makes it kind of like buyer beware. If people know she does that, you got to kind of know that. If I was her lawyer, I'd be like, well, I mean, it's happened before. Are you guys that dumb? And it's Madonna.
No, it's very true. Like, you just made a good point. It was your fault. You went to see Madonna.
Yeah, right. I mean,
ugh. I mean, what a no talent hack that woman is.
Hey, I was how do I put this?
You probably should leave before you ruin yourself.
Madonna has had her moments.
She has. That's true. There's no question about it. Look, she figured something out that nobody else did, that if you go on stage and pretend to be a whore, you'll get a bunch of people to come in. I'm not saying in real life she is, but she pretends to be, and she uses that to bring people in, right?
Right, Chris?
I've never been to a Madonna concert, so I'm not really qualified to answer this question.
Remember when she was hanging out with Warren Beatty, kind of suckering him in to think that he could actually marry her? Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh, my God, it was
in
so
her heyday.
sad.
That was her heyday.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
But,
nice.
Well, you guys have a good weekend.
You too, Chris. Thank you, sir. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We'll take a break. Be right back. Bob Sansevere, up next.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC has a mutiny on his hands. His sales crew said they've had it brooming snow off the new Buicks and GMCs, then warm them up, move them to plow, and repark them again. He even overheard them cooking up an alternative plan, a sale.
This is crazy. Why don't we just mark them down and sell them?
This is getting real old to be out on that lot in this sub-zero weather.
That's right. Everyone we sell is one less to broom. I heard we're supposed to get 6 more inches tomorrow.
I'm 5'6". How am I supposed to get the snow off the roof of a pickup?
I'm Jim Paul, and well, car dealers do have all kinds of crazy sales. This idea probably makes more sense than most. There's plenty of inventory, so okay, the crew has decided.
So then it's official. The We Don't Want to Broom snow sale is in full force at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings. Snowy inventory priced real right at valleycardealers.com.
This is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
That's that quick one again, Bob. What do you think of that one?
I like it.
Very quick, man. We get moving to Sandy right away. That's all I have to say. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work. Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims. And denials, call 763-571-2410 or go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. So, Sandy.
Yes, sir.
What's new?
Well, before we go to new, I just caught the end of Chris Egert. He seems, I don't know him real well, but everything I hear and listen, he's a great guy. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
But when it comes to Madonna, he's either a prude or a sugar-titty all the way. He refused to say what we... Okay, here. So it's not slander, Chris. You say, I believe she embraces the whore persona, which is what she does, right?
Yeah,
yes.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
And I would even write it, and it wouldn't be libel if I wrote it. And by the way, just a quick aside, some people don't realize there's a difference between libel and slander. Slander's the spoken word, libel's the written word. I do both. Stick a believe in front of it, and you're in the clear.
I like it, Bob. There's no question about it. Now, she's your Italian sister, by the way.
She is, and you know what, Tom? Quite honestly, in her youth, she was quite fetching.
She was, yes.
Now, I don't even recognize her. The work she's had done.
Yeah, I agree. And I know exactly what you're talking about. You ever met her? I've never met her or talked to her or any of that stuff. I have no idea.
What was her name was Chacon? Is that what it was?
So, yeah. I believe Madonna Chacon, I think, is right.
And I believe she still embraces the whore persona. I don't think that's ever changed.
Yeah, I don't think you can, after having the career she's had, you can't just flip the switch to off and now change your life. You kind of just got to
matronly grandmother mother roles. That's not going to happen.
No.
I will. You know who is now, Tom? I never saw this when it came out in May. I think it was May. Fast X. Have any of you seen it?
No.
it's the latest in the installment of the Fast and Furious. It's got like the old Towering Inferno type cast. Rita Moreno is who I'm thinking of. I mean, she's still attractive in her late 80s or 90s. She plays his grandmother, but the whole crew on that, I mean, the people in that thing, you get John Cena's in it, right? You get him, you get Alan Ritchson, the guy who plays Reacher.
Yep.
You've got obviously you've got Vin Diesel, Jason Momoa's the bad guy, Jason Statham, Charlize Theron, who's a little bit of an ally now of Vin Diesel's character. Brie Larson's in it, right? Rita Moreno, Helen Mirren, Ludacris, Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's kid. They stuffed this thing with stars or people who are big in this time of the in movies nowadays and old days. I loved the cast, not so much the movie. Oh, by the way, one quick thing we will talk sports. I detest movies that 2.5-hour movies should never leave a cliffhanger ending because they're setting up the next episode or next movie. That is bull.
Is that
Give
what
us an ending?
Is that what they did in Fast X?
Oh God! So it's like watching the old Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon, where it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, well, with the Fast and Furious series, they don't need a cliffhanger. We just all assume no matter what happens, there's going to be another one at some point.
Yeah. Although they want us to think nobody survives.
Right.
Well, we know they're all going to make it because how many people have come back from the dead already in that series? The only one in it is the one who actually died in a real car crash.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul Walker's the only one that
he's still alive in the
come
series,
back.
though.
Right.
They make a references to him. But all right, enough of that.
No, I like that kind of lingo you guys are using there. I like talking about that. Sports, I mean, yeah, one team won, the other one got their ass kicked. Good, there's the sports.
All right, the hell with it then. Anyway, getting back to this.
Yes.
I got to say, Tom, is there something odd about me that she's in her late 80s and Rita Moreno is stunning.
Absolutely. You're 100% correct about that. Plus, she's a very nice person.
See, you've had her on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, she seems to be. And Helen Mirren, now, I remember Rita Moreno when she was younger because she was in a lot, but I don't recall Helen because she probably made a lot of English movies. She was a knockout when she was younger.
Yep.
I mean, she's not unattractive now. Don't watch Yellowstone or that 1923 where she really looks like she's a weather-beaten woman. But she's attractive. She is attractive to this day. And she's, I'm thinking she's probably well into her 70s.
Yeah, I would certainly think so. No, you're absolutely right about that, Bob. There's no question about it. Catherine and I got lucky last night. We're just sitting around, and she wanted to go to bed early because Jude, our dog, has been waking up at 2:30 and 5:30 every night.
Oh.
It's a tough. She's not getting a lot of sleep. Let me put it that way. But last night we watched. Have you seen Monk's last case?
I started watching it, and I this is a few weeks ago, and I came across it last night and said I got to watch this thing because I love the Monk series.
Phenomenal. He is so good in that. It's amazing.
Is the movie good because it involves like what is his daughter or niece or something getting married? Niece.
Going to get married, and a guy. Well, I don't want to tell you what the guy does because it's just kind of it's not really a surprise opening. So I guess I can tell you because they open with people doing that dive off of bridges wearing the bungee cords.
Yeah.
It starts with that, and you know what's going to happen, and it does happen. So I'm not revealing anything that's going to be a shock to you. But a guy mismeasured his rope by 6 feet, and instead of being 90 feet, which would have stopped him before he hit the ground, it was at about 100 feet. So he slammed right into the ground. That was not pretty.
And Tom, what you said is so true. Has there ever been a scene in any movie where they show that and they all walked away saying how great an experience it was?
No, exactly. Somebody always dies when they're diving off of bridges. Well, I don't want to tell you how that happened because there's a very interesting way how it happened. But if you're going to watch the movie, I don't want to tell you how it ends. But that guy is so good. That Monk character is one of my favorites of all time because he's so touchy about people touching him or breathing on him or looking at. He's very, very touchy about that stuff.
He's Gelfand.
He's Gelfand. That's exactly. Oh my God, Bob and AJ and Tevin, the family show yesterday with Galfano.
Yeah.
And I loved the man. I literally loved that man. He's one of my favorite people in the world. Very brilliant man. You want to hear 55 minutes of somebody beating the shit out of Republicans. Listen to that yesterday. I don't know if he's ever met a Republican that he's liked. He is so far left. It is unbelievable. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not. I tend to be a centrist, maybe leaning a little right, but not that much. And that man is a psychopath when it comes to I guess parties and politics in general. I have your opinion. You're not going to change my world because you hate far right people or even any right. I don't care if you lean just a little right. He still hates you.
You know what he's like? Actually, I've told you this story about Jerry Burns. Whenever I needed a story, the hot buttons, quarterback controversy, Herschel Walker was another one, and Killer Instinct with Mike, Trump, MAGA, even just GOP.
Oh,
it just
God.
sets them off.
Oh, they were at it again this morning. I literally have gotten it down now, Bob, to about 45 seconds per Fox and CNN visit. I can't even do a minute anymore because every time it's Biden's got to go. He's destroying the country on Fox.
Yeah.
Then you go to CNN. If Trump gets in, it's the end of not just the United States. He's going to end the world. It's like, oh, God, would you people stop begging for money?
It's the end of democracy.
End of democracy. It's like, would you shut up? But they make money doing that, Bob. That's the only reason they do that.
They absolutely do. And, you know, it's interesting. Yesterday on social media and today, there's a story in the Star Tribune about it. Dean Phillips is trying to make a move to, get some attention because he wants to run against Biden.
Right.
And he's the only one actually in the Democratic Party showing any seeds to stand up to Biden and say, we need a change.
No,
so
I
I
agree
give him
with that.
credit for that. But we're all faced with a difficult decision. I mean, if some people, there are Biden people, there are Trump people. But for those of us who will never vote for Biden and detest the idea of voting for Trump, can Robert Kennedy be an alternative?
They don't like him either.
No, but for the rest of us. But he can't get elected, though. That's the problem.
No.
If there was a viable third candidate, I'd vote for him.
No, I haven't reached out to him, but on the show, I've invited Dean Phillips to come on. He came on the Family Podcast one time. He's a very pleasant guy. He's a friend of a friend. That's how he got on the show. But I'd love to have him on now, but he hasn't reached out.
See, I've never been a Republican, never been a Democrat. I freely admit I lean more right than left. But I would, if Phillips was running, I'd vote for him because I know people who know him personally who said he is a good guy and he has integrity. That's all I want.
He's a very nice guy.
Which is why I voted for Wellstone twice. And would have done it a third time. I didn't agree with any of his views, but he truly believed in his views. He wasn't just doing it because it's a party line. That's all I want.
Well, works for me. Hopefully we can, but all we got now are extremists. That's what we have now on a federal basis, not necessarily, well, on a state basis. Good luck with most of these people. That's all I have to say.
Well, I saw somebody laid out a plan, and I don't want to go political here, but a lot of people don't like Ilhan Omar, and what somebody laid out the game plan on how to beat her. You beat her in the primary because if you're a Republican, you switch over and vote as a Democrat, and then you get somebody else to win the primary, and then she's not even up for it because no Democrats or Republicans ever winning that district.
No, that's no question about it. But again, everybody gets a voice here, and this idea that the world's coming to an end if one of these guys wins, or whoever it is, will get through. But we got to start paying attention to the middle of the country, not just the extreme left and the extreme right. That's all we pay attention to now. It's us, all we people in the middle, that need the direction and the help. So get off your ass and do your job.
And we'll all think clearer next week when Tom. I'm not going to go into a climate thing, but because I don't think. I mean, we were sub-zero, and a week later it's going to be next Sunday, January 28th. The high is going to be 41.
Yes, it is indeed.
Have you ever had a year like this you can remember in Minnesota?
27 years ago.
It was like that.
Not as nice, but it was nice. There's no question about that.
I don't remember it.
No, it all works out in the end. That's all I know, right?
Well, it seems to. So far, it has for the last how many thousands of years. We're still here.
All right, Sandy. We'll have a magnificent weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Oh, I got to just throw this in. Niners, yes. Ravens, not so sure. For winning. A lot of people think the Packers will beat the Ravens. They're not going to beat the Niners. But I'll tell you what, that Houston team could be interesting. See, I got the sports in. I wanted to make sure.
Very good, Bob. You did a great job. It was a really long sports report of 32 seconds.
All right.
Thanks,
See you
Danny.
later.
Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bielke Law Firm. Heard at work. Dave Bielke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to bielkelaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. We shall take a break. Be right back. Very special guest, Hoodo Hersi. Shows at the House of Comedy January 19th and 20th, tonight and tomorrow. Hoodo will join us right after this.
You know the song Kokomo? It's supposed to be off the Florida Keys, right? Hate to break your Beach Boys bubble, but that's a fictitious place they made up for the song. Fortunately for the rest of us, the Florida Keys island chain are as real as the taxes you have to pay in Minnesota if you're a resident. Now that's a reason to move south. In addition to Florida and all of Monroe County being beautiful, the Keys from Key Largo to Key West are even more beautiful. This is Tom Barnard, part-time Florida resident myself. And if you want a second house or a new retirement home or want to become a Floridian, may I suggest you contact Matt Carlson from One Key West Realty. Matt grew up in Litchfield. He's a super real estate agent when it comes to finding your tropical island space in the Keys. He lives there and here, and Matt knows what's best in Key West to buy for your second home in Florida. Matt teamed up with fellow Minnesotan from Sartell and Alexandria, Kristen Eklund, who's one of the top mortgage brokers in the country from Coast to Coast Mortgage. She'll get you the financing you need to buy a home in Florida or in Minnesota. Matt's part of the Lake Sotheby's International Realty Group here in Minnesota, and Kristen, his mortgage colleague, lives and works in the Keys, so they both know the Florida Keys' new and existing homes for sale and are Minnesotan through and through. Contact them by heading to onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw and Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to tombernardshow.com, keyword partner. You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Magnificent, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, could you guys do me a favor? My 2-year-old grandson was in the studio yesterday. He snuck in, and I cannot find the Kristen Burt intro. So if you could, somebody send that to me.
I will do.
Just post it up on the screen when she's coming on. That'd be fine. But yeah, you may as well just send a copy of it to me if you can, because I'm going to need it. But yeah, that 2-year-olds, stuff just goes missing, and you have no idea where the hell they put it. I have no clue what he would have done with that piece of paper.
No,
right?
He doesn't remember what he did with that piece of paper either. He was just coming in like a tornado and throwing stuff everywhere and leaving without a trace. Yeah, a whirling dervish.
Got to be honest with you, man. I loved having kids. Andy and Alex, it was wonderful. But having grandkids too, that's another totally different area. Because my daughter's kids, who are 7 and 5 years old, Fawny and I get along really well. But Seiji, her 5-year-old son, I said, you guys love Bop Bop, don't you? And Fawn goes, yeah, I love you, Bop Bop. And Sage goes, I don't. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Tough crowd.
Yeah, tough crowd, man. I'm working a 5-year-old, and he's, I don't care for you that much, to be honest with you. You're okay, I guess, but just the way it is. Let me know when Hoodo's ready to go, and we will be set to go. Work for you?
Yep, she should be walking in the door here any second.
I thought I saw somebody walking past AJ just a couple minutes ago. Was that the situation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the pizza while she's setting up? Because we still haven't gotten to the worst topping. Did you come up with the worst topping for? Because Hoodo could vote on this if she eats pizza. Did you think about that? The worst topping you could think of to put on pizza? Because I came up with mine, and it actually has happened. I've seen it happen.
Yeah, I mean, my worst list would be pepperoni, or not pepperoni, pineapple. Yeah, sorry, that's slipped there. No, pepperoni.
Pepperoni. Okay, no. Pineapple.
Yeah.
AJ?
I would say, personally, this is like, it's not the worst, but for me, I just really try to avoid it. Mushrooms. I'm not a huge mushroom guy. Yeah, I love it in like a wild rice soup, or I'll have it with steak. But like on pizza, I don't know. It's just something about the texture. I don't know. It's weird for me.
I never tasted it, but I saw it and I was horrified. The worst topping on a pizza I have ever seen is sauerkraut.
Oh, see, I feel like you're missing out a little bit.
You like sauerkraut on pizza?
There's this place that it's in Columbia Heights, kind of near where I live, and it's called Tasty Pizza. But they have this they call it the Nordies pizza, but it's like Polish sausage and sauerkraut. It's a good time. It's a good time.
So the tomato with the sauerkraut's okay.
Yeah, it surprisingly works pretty well.
Yeah, those are the headphones for you. Should be on. The volume's on the right.
We're getting her all set. We're getting her all set here.
You guys are really professional. I'd like to point that out.
Oh,
he goes, oh.
There we go.
Hi guys. No, I'm muted.
Oh no,
All right.
we're all set.
Who do you pronounce your last name? Hersi or Hersi?
So the D is actually pronounced like a soft TH, so it's Hoodo.
Hoodo?
Oh, great. Tom, first try. Tom, stop it.
Wait a minute. You're mispronouncing my name. Just so it's Hoodo.
Yeah, Hoodo. Yeah. Hoodo.
And is it Hersi or Hersi?
Hersi, if you want.
Hersi. I thought it was a.
There you go.
Hoodo Hersi.
Tom, you got it.
Who's better than you, though? Hoodo. You, though, Hoodo. Hey, that's pretty good. Okay, so Hoodo, where did you grow up?
Wait, are we starting?
Yeah. You're
Oh, we've already been on for a while.
We're in. Okay, I didn't know. I thought there'd be like a cue, an action, something.
No, this is very unprofessional. I've been doing this for 53 years, and I'm very unprofessional.
Tom, off the top, I just want to acknowledge that where you are and how jealous I am. I mean, I'm excited to be in Minnesota, but just the fact that you're in the sun.
Yeah, no, not this year.
Wait, aren't you in Florida? I was told that you're in Florida.
I am indeed.
Yeah,
But because of El Nino, there's been very little sun since we've been here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because El Nino's apparently affecting the entire United States, I guess. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah,
well, I just want you to know no one in Minnesota feels sorry for you. Yeah.
I've kind of noticed that throughout my career, Hoodo, that they don't feel sorry for me at all. You're absolutely right. There's no question about that. It's just the way it is. Hoodo Hersi is a New York-based comedian you're from Toronto, though. That's good.
Yes, I live in New York now, but yes, I'm from Canada. Yeah.
I love Toronto. Oh, that's good. You're drinking during the show. Glad to hear it.
Hot chocolate. Well, you were reading the thing, so I was like, "Oh, I have time for a sip."
Well, that's there's no. Hey, this is all about you, sister. 2 shows tonight and tomorrow night. The House of Comedy. No, I've been traveling a lot because I went down. One of the reasons I do this is because I have to travel to other cities, and the ones that I travel to in the winter tend to be in the southeast or the east anyway. So to do it from here instead of Minnesota is kind of an easier thing to do. It all works out in the end. But Toronto, I love Toronto. That's a great town.
Yeah, and people from Toronto, we don't pronounce the second T. That's like a
Toronto, yeah.
Yeah, we don't. We just ignore that second T, honey. We're like, we're done with you. Yeah.
I understand. One of my best friends in the world is from Toronto.
There you go. Yes, yes.
He's from Toronto. His name is Dougie Dawson. Love the guy. He's a great guy. And by coincidence, Hoodo, earlier in the week, I was wearing a Banff, Canada sweatshirt. Okay. Nice. And a guy on the street walked up to me and goes, "Oh, you're Canadian, huh? Yeah, Banff, Canada. I love Banff, Canada. So are you Canadian?" I said, "No, I'm from Minnesota." He goes, "Oh, so you are Canadian."
There you go. Yeah.
I do. They think this is part of Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Is any part of Lake of the Woods, that part that's above the lakes, that's still America, isn't it? It's not Canada.
I love that this is geography now. I love that. Yeah,
all we do is teach people so they learn something.
I said this at the show last night. To me, Minnesota does really feel like Canada. It's the same kind of cold and stuff, and the people are nice. But you guys just don't have free health care. That's the only difference. Yeah.
Well, let's not
it does feel like Canada, though.
Don't go too far with that, because anybody who needs it gets free health care, because Well, the state tax.
Oh, do you guys have free healthcare here?
Oh no.
Well,
Okay.
if you
Kevin's
need
like,
it,
absolutely
you
not. I have to intervene, honey. This costs money. Have you seen my deductible?
I got to be honest with you, though. If you need health care in Minnesota, you would get it for free. You're not going to be turned away. That's not going to happen.
Tevin?
Yeah, it's just not like free. I guess technically, yes, but it's not like a Canadian version of free healthcare.
So if I
It's
have
not the same.
cancer or I break an arm,
It's still going to cost you money if you can pay, but if you had $0, they're not going to make you sit outside and die type of situation.
oh, okay. And then what happens to that?
I mean,
whatever?
they still send you a bill. You probably just don't pay it, and then they.
Doesn't that ruin your credit though?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert.
You're
on
like, I pay
all of
my
this.
bills, honey. I need everyone to know on the record.
There's
I
no
pay my
free.
bills.
There's
Thank
no
you.
free healthcare like.
Well, it's
Canada.
weird too because you can like negotiate the price sometimes with
Yes.
a hospital.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my god, you can bargain?
Yeah, you can go and be like, yeah, so this other hospital did this for this cost.
Like, yeah, that-
Why did you charge me 3 times as much? And then that's where like insurance companies get into that and they stickle and they haggle and all this stuff. And yeah,
that
a lot of
CT
stuff ends
scan
up as
was
write-offs.
Really overpriced.
Yes.
Oh wow. I had no idea. Tom is quiet because he's like, honey, I don't know what the pores are talking about. I'm doing pretty well.
No, let me just tell you something. In Minnesota, you'll get taken care of. If you really need the help, Minnesota will take care of you because they have some of the highest taxes in America.
I
People
thought,
don't-
okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, the taxes.
Do you guys
are-
rival California?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. Now, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
When you go on the road, like you're going to be at the House Comedy tonight and tomorrow night,
Yes.
do your parents have to come with you?
What kind of question is this, Tom? What do you mean?
You look like you're about 13 years old, so I'm just asking you that question. That's a good question, isn't it?
I love when people say that. I am 32. Thank you.
Honest to God, you honest to God look like a teenager. You do.
Yes, honey. Let's say it together. Black don't crack.
Hey,
Yes,
oh, God.
honey.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
I knew I liked you.
Yes.
No,
I don't even know how old Tevin is, honey.
I'm
He
the same
could be
age as you
22.
are.
Same age.
Same age, 31. So yeah.
Oh, really? I
Yep.
thought early 20s, honey. There you go.
How about AJ? How old's AJ?
AJ, actually, you have really great skin. Like when I first met you, I was like,
Other
oh.
than the fact that it's white, that's not so great. But other than
No,
that,
no, no, but it's clear. Like you have no blemishes, nothing. It's
he
like,
didn't even deny it. I love that.
well, no, he is white. I mean,
Yeah,
what do we? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
white, but it's like you have a good skincare routine. Good for you.
I promise you, it's nothing. I go like
AJ,
this
yeah,
with
AJ's
water before
skincare
bed,
routine
and
is
I
rub to
hop in
sleep.
bed. Yeah.
So funny.
Honest to God. Okay, so I do want to hear. So you did grow up in Toronto?
I did, yeah, born and raised. And then in the summer of 2022, I moved to New York.
Okay.
So I split my time between New York and Toronto because legally I can't be out of. If I want to keep my health care, I can't really be out of the country longer than 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. That
And so
makes
we have
sense.
to hold on to that, honey. We cannot. Absolutely not. I see what's happening to Americans, honey. This
Oh,
is,
yes.
yeah, I can't. I got to make sure I come back every 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, no question. Come back. Like, basically you just sounded like you came back to Canada because you came to Minnesota. That's what you just kind of said.
Yeah, she thought she was performing in Canada. She's like, wait, Minnesota's not Canada?
It really
Close enough.
it does feel like I'm in Canada. I do feel at home here for sure.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that you feel at home here, that you should feel at home here. There's no question about that. What attracted you to doing comedy?
You know, I remember initially I watched the Chappelle Show with my older brother.
Oh, sure.
And I just remember being like, oh, wow, you can make people laugh for money. And I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Mhm.
And so I make this joke in my act about how my father supports my comedy career, loves it, and then my mother hates it. So you need balance. Life is about balance. You always need one person humbling you at all times. Yeah.
She doesn't say she hates your act.
No. She doesn't even. Yeah. I mean, I did make a joke. I had this set that I did with Comedy Central earlier this year, and it came out. And my mother, I remember, was really upset about it. She was upset about it because I did make fun of her in the act, and I
Well,
hate
that's
that Comedy
good.
Central had subtitles. You know.
But I
Because
gotta be honest with you.
there wasn't any subtitles, I would have been like, you're not hearing this correctly. But no, the subtitles were there, so she knew I was making fun of her.
I got to be honest with you. I have that kind of personality that if I like you, I'm going to go after you anyway.
Yeah.
And if I don't like you, I'm going to mean it when I go after you. You know what I mean? That's a big difference. So I'm going to do the same thing, but in a much harsher manner if I don't like you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so I don't know what to say. My mother didn't like it, but I do think comedians roast from usually a place of love.
Yeah,
You know?
really?
Yeah.
Good.
I think so. Did your mother have a career path that she wanted you to go down instead of?
Oh yeah,
comedy?
yeah. Of course. I mean, I was an elementary public school teacher with like a pension and full benefits. And I left that. You know what I mean? So she's furious.
Well, has it at least gotten better? Because in the early days of your career, I'm assuming there was a lot of, like bar shows performing to, 10 people. And your mom's like, see, I told you should have been a teacher. And now when you're on Comedy Central, is there a little bit
No, but you know what's interesting is I was doing those bar shows and then I would have to teach in the morning.
Oh, okay.
I only quit teaching maybe like, I don't know, end of 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so it hasn't been that long, actually. Yeah.
Did you ever have a parent-teacher conference where, some dad was like, hey, you had a killer set this past weekend?
Yeah, there
You know what's interesting is I hate this, but like I would have kids that would like come to me. I would tell them, hey, we're doing this research assignment. And I tell them, go on this website, and they'd have like laptops and stuff. And then they'd be Googling me. And they're like, oh my God, you're so funny, Miss Hersi. So that's really annoying. I also don't even like it when people say Miss Hersi anymore. They've like ruined my last name for me.
Mhm.
I don't even like when people say, yeah. And I know they're being respectful, but I don't like it anymore. It's so funny. I remember one time I had a colleague of mine go, hey, so I saw you on something that I did. I think it was Just for Laughs. And he was like, hey, are you gonna do Netflix next? And I was like, in my mind, what I wanted to say was, I was like, if I was on Netflix, you think I'd be here right now?
All right.
You understand? Like, oh my God, I wouldn't be doing report cards like a loser. Okay.
Well, that's negative.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I need to see what they make teachers write in a report card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Talk to me.
The show only lasts 15 more minutes, and we have another woman coming on who you'd like. Can you stay another 15 minutes?
Sure. Who's the person?
Kristen Bird is her name. She's in Los Angeles. So we'll have a New Yorker and a Los Angelesan and a bunch of Minnesotans
Love that.
looking at things from different angles. What do you think?
Coast to coast coverage.
Let's do it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Hoodo.
Hoodo.
I keep
Tom,
forgetting the
you
H.
got it. You got it right
Hoodo.
the first time. Yeah.
Hoodo Hersi.
There you go.
Hoodo Hersi shows at the House Comedy tonight and tomorrow night. We'll take a break, come right back, and we're going to put Hoodo together with Kristen Burt. This might destroy podcasting forever. That's all I'm saying. We'll be right back.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC has a mutiny on his hands. His sales crew said they've had it brooming snow off the new Buicks and GMCs, then warm them up, move them to plow, and repark them again. He even overheard them cooking up an alternative plan, a sale.
This is crazy. Why don't we just mark them down and sell them?
This is getting real old to be out on that lot in this sub-zero weather.
That's right. Everyone we sell is one less to broom. I heard we're supposed to get 6 more inches tomorrow.
I'm 5'6". How am I supposed to get the snow off the roof of a pickup?
I'm Jim Paul, and well, car dealers do have all kinds of crazy sales. This idea probably makes more sense than most. There's plenty of inventory, so okay, the crew has decided.
So then it's official. The We Don't Want to Broom snow sale is in full force at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings. Snowy inventory priced real right at valleycardealers.com.
Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life, Zero Res Carpet Care. Very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, 0 resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forward, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy. Zero Res Carpet.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner. This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You damn right. Hoodo Hersi is in studio with us, ladies and gentlemen, at House Comedy tonight and tomorrow night. Kristen Burt joins us. Kristen Burt Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So, Hoodo and Kristen, we're going to just turn the show over to you, so get at it.
So nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. I can already see the sun radiating on your face.
Oh, I appreciate that.
It's really well lit where she is. I'm like, honey, she's in California. Is where she's at.
And in my closet, so it's so sunshiny here.
Wow,
it's amazing.
That's
so,
great.
Kristen, just to jump it off, because the last time that I brought this up, but I watched Monk's Last Case, the movie last night. I just loved that character. I thought he was just terrific as that character, but I just wanted to throw that out quickly. If you get a chance, watch it, because he is so good at that role of Monk. It's amazing.
Tony Shalhoub is good in anything he does. And
Yes.
if people have not seen his performance in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, you are missing out as well. Totally different than what he does in Monk, but just so genius.
It's so great that if you come within 6 feet of him, he has to take out the stuff and clean his hands and wipe his face.
Yeah, the character has OCD, so in case anyone didn't know.
Phenomenal. Anyway, I just wanted to give a tip of the cap. If you get a chance and you're a Monk fan, watch it, because it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Well, I've got a little bit of good news for you, Tom, since I know you're a Taylor Sheridan fan.
Oh, did I get fired again? Thank God. What great news.
No, he's got another show coming. I don't know where he has time, but he's got a new show called Empire of the Summer Moon, and it's based off of a book that focuses on the Comanche tribe's battle against white settlers for all of the Western land. You're gonna love it.
And who's doing this?
Taylor Sheridan.
Well, Taylor Sheridan's doing it. Yeah, his writing. He can write. There's no question about that. There's no doubt about it. I have pretty much liked everything I've ever watched written by Taylor Sheridan. You're correct.
Yeah, and he's propping up the entire Paramount Plus network right now. So
absolutely.
If he goes away, or God forbid anything happens to him, they're in a lot of trouble.
So it's the who against who in it, in the new one?
Comanche versus white settlers. And the book, because it was based off of a book, the show will be Empire of the Summer Moon.
Empire of the Summer Moon. Okay.
Yeah. So for those of you who want to go out and read the book first, because I know some people like to do that and then catch up with the series, but it just was bought. So we're at least a year or two out from the show, but something to keep your eye on.
Yeah, we'll get that done. Now, we have to, pay close attention to the fact that Hoodo is from Canada and they don't have TV yet.
Americans always do this to us.
It's so rude of him to say that, especially since
sorry, you guys are from
Tom
another
loves
planet.
Canadian shows.
Yeah.
No American loves Canada more than I do. I will just say that. I love Canada. No question about it. Haven't been to all of it, just basically from, I would guess, from Lake Louise east.
Got you. Yeah,
So,
it's really, you guys should definitely go out to Vancouver. So
oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Apparently, I got a bunch of relatives there I've never met. Barnard is a very common name out in Vancouver, I guess. I don't know
wow.
why.
Okay.
Whatever. I think they dropped me off and then kept going.
They dropped you off. They're like Minnesota. That's where we'll leave him.
Canada South.
There you
Canada,
go.
yeah, Canada South. There you go.
It's cold enough to be Canada South.
Yeah.
Oh,
little dig. I lived there. Come on, I lived there a couple years. It was
You
cold.
did. You know, I got to tell you, Hoodo, that's really bad news. But Kristen, the whole 2 years she was here, she was propping up Jesse Ventura. You know who he is? He ran for. Did he ever run for president? He was talking about doing it.
He flirted with it.
Flirted with it. Okay.
Yeah,
He was the governor of Minnesota, and he was a professional wrestler before that. And he's an interesting fella.
And a Navy SEAL.
He's a Navy, and he was never a Navy SEAL. He made that up. He was at UDT, Underwater Demolition Team, which is now part of the SEALs.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not taking away anything the guy did. He was good at folding towels. But anyway, moving forward.
He was good at folding towels. Stop.
Listen, he's had an interesting career. I'm going to give him that. He's one of those that can
it's true.
rewrite a chapter. He's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I'm a wrestler. I'm a governor. I'm a,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna cheat on my wife with the maid.
Oh, she threw that part in.
I have to tell you, like, living in Los Angeles when that story was breaking was fascinating because it was such a tabloid story, but because he was governor he was leaving office when the story broke, it was the Los Angeles Times and TMZ covering it at the same time, and it was so much fun. I have to be honest, because every day you'd be like, wait, no, this happened in his home. Wait a minute, like, and then you would see the poor kid. Joseph at the time was so little,
I know.
but they would, the paparazzi would chase them, and he looks just like Arnold. You're like, come on,
Truly
Maria
does.
Shriver. Like,
Truly does. Yeah.
that's your husband's doppelganger.
Well,
Yeah, and also the comments about what the maid looked like were so mean.
So
Really?
cruel.
People
So
were brutal.
cruel.
They were like, why would you cheat on your wife with her? You know what I mean? It was like,
Worst.
wow. If I was that woman, I would be like, self-esteem decimated, honey.
Yeah. And just the double betrayal, because obviously Mildred Baena was a beloved family member or, someone in their household that had been there for years. And to have that betrayal by both her husband and someone who had worked inside her home for so many years was horrific. But I will say that Joseph Baena, who I covered during Dancing with the Stars, the season he did, is hilarious and funny and really smart.
He's on Dancing with the Stars?
He did I want to say we just did, I'm going to say season 30, and he is so funny. Like his sense of humor, amazing.
You don't let anyone ever tell you America's not a great country. Anyone can make it. Anyone can have their moment in America. Okay, honey, this is not happening in China. You understand? Only in America can this happen. Wow. He was on Dancing with the Stars?
But wait a second. Wait 1 second. Why were you looking at me, Hoodo, when you said anyone can make it? Why were you looking directly at me? I saw it.
We were all looking at you, Tom.
You all thought the same thing.
We were all, I was like, she's absolutely right.
How would you even be able? How did they intro him on Dancing with the Stars? Were they like, "Hey, his love child"? Like what did they say?
They did. I mean, they did obviously refer to him as the son of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can't deny that.
Oh, okay.
But he is someone. He's a model. He is an actor. He works in bodybuilding. He's also a real estate agent, by the way. And I have to say that all of the Schwarzenegger kids have all relatively kept themselves like out of the news in terms of like getting into trouble and things like that. And Arnold, I really pushed education with all of his kids, and they're all uniquely smart, funny, interesting people and human beings. Obviously, they're Nepo babies, but I think that they did a good job in parent raising. Or child raising. The parents did a good job.
Okay, this is so fascinating. Do they all get along?
They don't. And that's the other interesting dynamic. Patrick Schwarzenegger, obviously one of the kids of Maria and Arnold, is good friends with Joseph, but the other kids are not. They've pretty much stayed away and don't have a relationship with him.
Wow.
And the youngest one, I'm not sure what Arnold's youngest son with Maria is, but he's only maybe a couple of weeks, maybe 4 weeks apart from Joseph. So the overlap is weird. So I understand like why he's uncomfortable. Like there's some dynamics here that you go, okay, I get it. That's weird.
Wow.
Do you
Sorry.
think
That was fascinating. I'm so sorry for taking us on that detour.
Oh no,
it's fine.
it's freestyle here.
Can I do my favorite line from Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie The Running Man, I think it was called?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite line ever delivered by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Honey, who are you talking about? Al from work. It's like, okay. No accent there.
Arnold is he's so flawed as a person, but I do find him very fascinating. If people have not watched Arnold on Netflix, by the way, it was the docuseries about his life. He does have a lot of good perspective. You can tell he's done some deep work on himself and understanding like where he made some wrong turns and things like that. I actually worked briefly with him at an EV conference, believe it or not, because before I was covering entertainment, I was hosting things in the automotive industry. And I was at an EV conference while he was governor, and I was working for Toyota, and they were like, we need someone to talk with Arnold and take him through this electric vehicle. Because remember, we're going back to when like this was like newer technology, not like where Tesla's on the road. And my supervisor like literally pushed me and she's like, you're gonna do it. He wants to talk to a female who's blonde. I mean, like you think about the sexism that like goes into things like that, but it's super interesting. And then the media was all around and my photo wound up in the paper. So there's a photo of like me and Arnold like looking at, I think it was actually a fuel cell vehicle, not even an electric vehicle together. So I'm like, that is my memory of me and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well,
That's so interesting.
I've only interviewed him once, and I didn't remember what it was even for. He was a very nice guy. He's a very pleasant guy.
Very nice. He's very personable. I was shocked at how short he was. He is a short king.
Wait, how tall is he?
I'm going to say, because I'm 5'3", just so you have perspective of how short I am. And I know I wasn't wearing heels that day. I'm going to say he was somewhere in the 5'7", 5'8" range.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I can almost look people in the eye, I'm like, wow, they are short.
No, he's not.
Well,
say
that's
6'2".
He must have switched his all of his Wikipedia stuff. Yeah, it says he's 6'2"
like,
online.
I need you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
He's surprisingly short. So I'm wondering if he wears lifts.
Or maybe he just lies.
Yeah, that could be.
A lot of them lies. I mean, a lot of public figures, male public figures, wear lifts in their shoes. I mean, Donald Trump is one. Tom Cruise is another. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty common to get a little bit of height.
He's still only 5'1". Actually, according to that scale, I just got 2 inches taller than Tevin. So there you go.
Tevin, how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Oh wow, yeah, tall man. Yeah,
You're 6'4", Tevin?
Yeah.
I love that.
I haven't met him in person, so I'm like, I never pictured you at 6'4". Now I have to like reframe you in my mind.
How tall did you think he was?
Like 5'10".
Oh, Tevin's like, excuse me? You better put
but I haven't
some
stood next to him. AJ, how tall are you?
I'm also 6'4".
Yes.
That was not well received.
I love that.
No, I'm like 5'7", 5'8" if the shoes have like bigger soles.
Okay, so I'm hanging out next to you because I'm 5'3". It's like
beautiful.
I stand next to the 6'4" people, and I literally look like I'm 12. Like,
yeah.
It is a wonderful thing. There's no question. Did Timmy ever call in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Good. Timmy, you got to join us here.
Hey.
Can you guys stay another 10 minutes, or do you got to go?
Sure.
Yeah, I want to talk to her about Arnold.
Okay, good. Excellent. Here we go. Tim Lammers now joins us. Now, are you to do the intro before you do it, though? Is that cool with you?
Yes. Yeah.
Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lammers is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant Personal Injury Lawyers, seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at Minnesota Personal Injury. Tim Lammers, Kristen
Hello.
Burt, and Hoodo Hersi, all together.
Hoodo Hersi. I want to say hello, Miss Hersi, because I know you hate that. I was listening.
Tim, don't do it to me.
Don't do it,
So
Timmy.
mean.
Miss Hersi. It's so formal, though. Come on.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, when you hear people whine, it was just 6 years of kids being like, Miss Hersi, Miss Hersi, right? So you end up hating your own
Come on,
last
me,
name.
Miss Hersi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So,
yeah.
Well, nice to meet you. And Kristen, we're on the air together again.
I know, I missed you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. And Arnold, okay, he was in town for Jingle All the Way, and actually, that's where I met Jesse as well.
Okay.
But there is a photo of me shaking his hand. My dear mentor, Bill Carlson, he passed away now. He introduced me to him, and Bill's standing in between us. Bill was 5'7", 5'8". I'm 5'8". Arnold easily looks 6'2". So those must be huge lifts. But there's a picture. I mean, yeah, and I met him again at the premiere of the film, which was at the Mall of America. And yeah, I swear he was 6'2".
Yeah,
So
must be
does he wear platform shoes?
Well, maybe he's
like Elton John?
5'10" and wearing lifts, but he is.
Kristen, maybe you're 6'2" as well, and you just didn't know it.
There we go.
In my mind, I'm 6'2". That's about it. I come
Yeah.
from a line of very short, petite ladies.
I love that you're complaining about your height, and I'm 5'1". Yeah,
I'm another petite lady.
Well, you need to get lifts then, Hoodo. You need to get lifts.
We get heels. We get heels all the time. We're so funny.
You know what's
You don't
great
want
about
to wear
that height,
those,
though?
Tim. I promise you.
Yeah.
My sister Vicky is 5 feet tall. She's 2 years older than me. She's 5 feet tall, and nobody messed with me because of her. Because she would start kicking some ass in grade school. If they bothered me, she would go kick the piss out of them. It was
Do not
fun to
mess
watch.
with petite ladies. We are small but mighty. Like that personality is usually feisty.
Often referred to as Spitfires.
Spitfire.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah. So this week I do movie reviews here. Miss Hersi. Sorry, I do movie reviews on the show here. And I don't know, Kristen, if you screened this one earlier or not, but ISS. It's a doomsday thriller with Ariana DeBose from West Side Story. Won an Oscar for West Side Story. It seems to me like, I don't know if she's been in other films after that.
Wish. She did Wish.
Oh, she did.
One of the
Oh,
ones-
of course.
yeah.
Okay. So, but to win an Oscar and then to do, it's a relatively small film. Bleecker Street released it. Not a big studio film. Feels big though. It's set aboard the International Space Station. Ariana and John Gallagher Jr. are two new U.S. astronauts. They meet Chris Messina. He's the chief commander of the U.S. Astronaut Corps there in space. And then there are 3 Russian cosmonauts. And this is where it gets really interesting. While they're on the space station, and there's sort of an uneasy tension there anyway, just the cultural differences, nuclear war breaks out between the U.S. and Russia. And you can see the Earth burning below. And both the teams of astronauts are given a mandate: take control of the ISS by any means necessary. I thought, that's an interesting premise. I mean, what is there really a mandate that exists when you have, obviously US and Russia aren't the only countries that use that space station. But the one question I left from the film was, I wonder, would they really turn against each other if it really came to it? Unfortunately, that's about the only interesting thing to me. It's like, what's the point of taking control of the ISS? They never explain it. It's not like it can fire weapons. It doesn't have like a wheel on a ship that, okay, I'm on, I'm in charge here. It's just a very strange idea of what's the point of taking charge of this? Because even if you do survive, even if you do find a way back home, what are you going to find when you get back on Earth? A nuclear apocalypse.
There you go. I was just told by my producer on the family show that we got about 30 seconds left.
So Hammer is not coming down on it. Again, interesting enough, 6.5 out of 10 on the Lammometer. But wow, it's just, again, kind of a pointless movie, a hopeless movie, a depressing movie.
Oh, perfect.
Like I say, interesting premise. What would happen if Earth were burning below and you're on the ISS? What the hell would you do?
And proving Hollywood doesn't know what to do with Ariana DeBose.
Clearly. I mean, she's good in it, but what's the point? I mean, I'm surprised that you're not seeing. I mean, she won an Oscar. Come on, Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story. Yeah,
very good. Tim Lammer, sponsored by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers, Bradshaw and Bryant. Seeking justice for the injured, contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Kristen Burt is brought to you by Kristen Burt Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And of course, tonight and tomorrow night, House of Comedy. One of my favorite people in the world now, as of today, Hoodo Hersi.
Come on out. Love
Thanks,
it.
all
Thank you, Tom. That's so sweet.
Hey, come back, sister.
Come to LA.
I will. I absolutely will. I absolutely will.
I want to
Talk
come
to
see
later.
you.
Have a good day.
Okay. Bye, guys.